Eesti Laul has finally reached its grand climax, and the opera diva Elina belted it out. Are you guys ready to talk about it?
Let's do this.
Oh, Alina. This was tasteful, this was classy, this was vocally on point, and it was actually quite beautiful. I think she looked amazing. I love the concept of making the dress the stage. There's no LED this year. You know what? We'll just bring a lot of fabric and shine some lights on it. And it worked. It's a really unusual kind of visual in a way, because it's not just a woman in a dress. The dress becomes the stage. And it's kind of innovative and creative, and it really will help fill the space in Lisbon. I think she sounds amazing. I think this is not as off-putting as some opera can be. She's managed to somehow make this more inviting for me anyway. It's not like Malena Ernman Popra. It's not like Lucian, whatever his name is, Pavarotti opera. It is Alina's opera, and it's working for me. I think this could be one of their best finishes ever. Angus.
It's funny. Her stage show is absolutely mesmerizing, but I think the song itself, I can understand why it's quite divisive, because I think going into this, she was the favorite to win by quite a long margin in what was a pretty lackluster selection show. The song for me is it's more about her voice than anything else. I don't think as a composition it's actually that great, but vocally she's incredibly powerful, so I can totally see that being absolute catnip for the juries. Actually, weirdly for me, it puts me in mind of Seuss by Ronan Issue, which I couldn't stand, but in terms of vocal gymnastics, it has that whole appeal as she can do incredible things with her voice. Not necessarily good things, but incredible things nonetheless. The detailing on this, she had glitter all over her hands, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I think vocally she nailed it. The performance is absolutely there. The song kind of so-so for me. It's more about her belting out some big notes. There's not a definable chorus, which in terms of Eurovision, kids aren't going to be singing along at home. But in terms of the juries, who are hugely influential, this should perform pretty well. And I mean, fingers crossed they should be back at the final with this.
So I think this is kind of good news for people that like La Forza, because last year I didn't understand why Amar Pellestois was so good, and I hated it, let's be fair, in the lead up to the contest. And I think I'm kind of in the same position now with La Forza, so apparently that means this is probably going to win. I just don't. I get opera at points. It's not a genre that I like particularly. I think it's singing almost for the sake of singing in this case, I feel like. I think she's got an amazing voice. She is incredibly talented, but I just don't think that there's any hook. And I think that actually, on Angus's point that the juries will respect this, they won't, because they never do at Eurovision. Opera is like jury poison. Il Volo would have crushed everybody on the televote in 2015, and the juries ranked them 11th or 12th. And Grande Amore was a better performance than La Forza. La Forza is Aliona Moon just kind of recycled. I don't know. I completely see why people like this, but it's not for me. And maybe, again, I think we've got proof that could change very quickly and easily, but for me right now, I would have much rather many other choices tonight than this. But incredibly talented performer. She has got that vocal, and it will. I genuinely could see it winning the televote, because again, Il Volo did, and opera fans love this kind of performance. So I can see it winning the televote and possibly winning Eurovision. But I think that the juries would not respond to it.
Oh my God! Cue the photo of Aliona Moon. That was Mike Boss's joke. Sorry. All right. I must say, with Salvador, I felt more of an emotional connection. I think with this song, it's harder for me to access it emotionally. Like, I do at times feel like a woman is shouting at me, but she's shouting at me in a beautiful way, but it's not like pulling on my heartstrings. So while this is a song I really like, it's something I wouldn't personally vote for, even if I am impressed. But I guess why I'm so keen on it is that it brings a new flavor to the contest this year. It's just vocally so impressive. And visually, they have done something different visually. And yes, it's a woman in a dress, but they're using that big train. And I feel like a lot of the other acts we've seen thus far, not that there's nothing original, that's not what I mean to say, but this just takes things in a new direction. That's why I'm respecting Estonia so much.
I mean, point of history, I should also say, Uvolo came sixth with the juries in 2015, so it's not like they were a million marks off the top spot that year. And also, yeah, I mean, on the point of Jacques Kudak last year, like, that was an opera song that crossed boundaries. So I don't necessarily think the juries don't respect it. I just think previous incarnations haven't got it right. So, like, think France 2011. That was opera. Staging was terrible and boring. It did awfully. But everyone was really hyped about it going into the final because it was different and unique sounding. Similar like Romania 2013, Cesar had that madcap staging, but the song was a bit like hyperdramatic. I think Estonia strikes the right balance. It's a cool staging. She hits the vocal notes. This could all work very well for them. It's just about how it performs on the like to me in the semi-final. I went in, I'm the same as you, Chris. I wasn't convinced by the song. I didn't really get it, and I thought there were more obviously pop appeals, but this has instant impact. It's that dark focused moment where the first projection hits the dress. And the other thing for history, Ali Moon, who cares? 2013 was like 5 years ago, and also Sabina Babi did the projection dress first, so let's not like misattribute history. My main point is most people watching this for the first time will not remember anyone ever did a projection dress. They'll be like, oh my god, a projection on a white dress, how original, I love it. And we'll jam the phone lines. I think this has impact and appeal. But yeah, I mean, you can tell. Like, I was convinced Verona was going to do great last year, and then that just went down in flames. So, I mean, you have to hope this, this should do better. And I think it has all the right in how it the night.
Yeah, I do. It's a song that I respect. I respect the entire thing. It's just not something that I'm going to like. And again, the main thing is, at Eurovision, it is much better to be loved by an amount of people than it is for people to just like your song. Because those people that love you will vote for you, and they will respond to this. And yeah, I almost don't want it to win, because I can just imagine that means Eurovision next year would just be every single opera singer ever, and then it turned into the Eurovision Opera Contest, because that's what always happens. We always get a few copycats, and I don't think I could deal with that personally. But I would love to go to Estonia. So yeah, I think she's very good. That's the thing. Like, I will never fault her vocal. She has nailed it every single time. Yeah. She looks great on camera. She's stunning. Like, there's so many plaudits for her. It's just that I do not respond to this kind of music.
And just quickly, any other comments we have on the show, I'll just say that Stig Rasta, I feel like, came into his own tonight. Like, there seemed to be a greater connection between him and his own song, which he wrote. And it was much more pleasant to watch than previously. And I could have understood why people would vote for that. I'm glad Elina won. I think the best act did win, but Stig made a very valiant effort. He can be really, very proud of this performance, and it sets him up for the future. Obviously, he's well known in Eesti Laul circles, but I feel like this is giving him even more credibility because he can slay on his own without a female woman named Elina, interestingly, in a duet. Angus.
No, completely. I mean, I think, Stig got his head in the game tonight. It's funny because the semi-final, he was entirely disengaged, and I really got the impression that he just did not care at all. Whereas tonight, I suddenly got the sense that, at the last moment, he either got panicked that he wasn't going to win or set his mind that he did want to win and take on Elina. He upped it. I mean, it was very, hipster coffee shop style performance. There's light bulbs dangling from it, the guitar ballad. I want to shout out to Nika with Knock Knock because I really liked that song and thought she could have been the dark horse tonight. She was very talented in a similar way to Curly, had that whole animalistic pop vibe down that I really think Estonia should go with one of these years because that'd be good if it could. And I mean, there were some real surprises. Like Sybil Vane did incredibly well in the jury vote, and I hated that song. Like you don't need 1,000 words to describe it; you need one. Yeah, so I don't know. It was interesting. Like the production values were incredible as well. I think maybe a step backwards overall in terms of song quality for Eesti Laul. 2017 felt like a very strong year, where this was kind of like the Elina show. And I mean, yeah, she just dominated. Like the jury vote, it was 12 points after 12 points after 12 points. And yeah, like I think worthy winner, totally deserved. And yeah, let's see what they bring in May.
I wanted Stig to win. I wanted Stig to win so badly. I loved that song from the second it came out. Yes, I know a lot of people said, "Oh, it's just Ed Sheeran, it's this and that." I'd much rather listen to that than Ed Sheeran any day. Frankie Animal were really good. I was very impressed with them. I actually thought, oh, okay. Well, I can keep calling Misty. So. Yeah, I did think that generally speaking, I was a bit underwhelmed by the lineup, like at the start of Eesti Laul, but I think the right songs made to the final. I think it's much better when you've got that big audience compared with the semi-finals. Carl Christian and Carl Killing, I really liked that one. Yeah, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a very good show. And I'm glad for people that La Forza won, because I can imagine that there would be a lot of very unhappy Eurofans if it hadn't have won.
Well, that is what we think. What do you think? Are you feeling the force? Is La Forza with you? Let us know here on wiwibloggs. Everyone from...
Oh, Chris, I actually knew
sorry, I thought you were going away.
I just always go last normally and say the
Okay,
comment.
I'll go first. Make sure to leave a like.
And make sure to add your comments in the comment box below and subscribe if you aren't already, so that you get all of our content.
And we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.